I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're talking to a terrific and inventive author. His name is Lou Gallio, and he brings powerful emotional depth and riveting action to his two distinct works. One is called Chevy Levy, and the other, Omega Alpha. One is a heartfelt memoir of love, loss, and resilience. The other, a gripping geopolitical thriller set on the brink of nuclear catastrophe. From personal tragedy to global tension, this author masterfully explores both the intimate and the epic. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing books. The links are below this interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Lou, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
I'm here. Good to see you.
When you pick up your book, Chevy at the Levee, bye bye, Miss American Pie, kind of comes to our mind right away. Chevy at the Levee is what you think of, and that was such an anthem for that era. Tell us a little bit about why you call the book that, and this wonderful tribute. Tell us a little bit about this wonderful tribute to your late wife.
Well, the title is Chevy at the Levee
Yeah.
rather than to the levee.
Okay.
I wanted to be careful about that. Um, the levee was a place that I used to visit in my hometown. And when I was dating a girl, um, we would go to the levee and have a nice lunch uh, and just hang out. So it was a kind of a uh, key place in growing up. That's the reason why I named it that.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about how it's a tribute to your wife, the book, some of the memories that you share, some of the stories that you relate.
Yeah, well, of course, I met my wife in London and we courted for 2 years.
Mhm.
And then I asked her to come over and check out living here before we got married. And she did. So she said, yeah, I'll stay. And she stayed, we got married, and we continued to use the levee
Mm.
as a place, private time, quiet time, and having some uh, moments of memory there that stick to you.
Yeah.
Um, I can still even not only visualize the scene, but smell the smells.
Yeah.
So it's a good place to key off of
Yeah. Absolutely.
in writing a
Absolutely.
story.
Yep. What a move from London to Texas. Those are two very different places, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And of course, she was a very likable person,
Mhm.
great personality, and everybody here just fell in love with her.
Mm.
And so it was uh, a good matchup.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Losing her, of course, was hard. And you had to deal with grief. How did you get through that? What advice would you have for others who are going through that?
Very difficult at first. Um, you have to accept the fact that you've got a different scenario,
Mm.
and you can go into denial. You have to avoid that.
Mm.
Accept the facts in, and just take it day by day.
Yeah,
And you want to hope and pray that she doesn't suffer,
yeah,
and you try to keep occupied as well.
Exactly.
and stay close to your loved ones
Mm.
because they're your support group
Yeah.
and they will help out quite a bit.
Exactly. Yeah, they are
Of
your
course,
shield in times of heartbreak like that, the loved ones around you. Um, and of course, keeping distracted, keeping busy. And I imagine in part that's why you've chosen to write. I'd
yeah.
imagine Omega Alpha, rather, was a great escape. It's a great work of science fiction and quite a thriller. Tell us what drove you to write a fast-paced military and political thriller.
Well, it was actually a dare by
Hmm.
my friend at the kitchen table. Um, he was somewhat of a screenwriter.
Hmm.
And I said, well, I can give that a try.
Hmm.
I can write a book. She said, oh, I dare you do it. So I did it.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was into geopolitical stuff. Uh, I had worked for a company that was partly owned by Chinese,
Hmm.
and they were here under student visas, and they formed a company, and that company got a contract to put in the first internet line, commercial line in China,
Hmm.
and I was part of that project, and I got to um, rub shoulders with some of the uh, people in China and some of the high level people.
Hmm.
Got to know the scenario, got to know what was going on. So I used that as a means of writing a novel. And, what if this, what can happen?
Yeah.
And I kind of keyed off of that premise.
Yep.
And of course, it was fiction, but pretty close to the truth
Yeah.
in a lot of cases.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Certainly could happen.
Yeah.
Does feel very real. You mentioned that your friend was a screenwriter. Have you envisioned Omega Alpha on a screen of some sort, whether it's a TV screen or a movie screen?
As a matter of fact, I am.
Yeah.
And it would make a good movie, particularly because we were been at odds with China.
Hmm.
And it's kind of relevant,
Yeah.
very relevant now. It was, released back in 2001, I believe. And now a lot of that has come to pass.
Mm.
And although the book was released years ago, there's a lot of it that can apply today.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's fiction, but it reads a lot like real life.
Yes,
It's excellent work, and I think it'd be a great film as well. Great characters, great story, great locations. I think it would be a home run. So, Hollywood, if you're listening, here's a book that's ready to be turned into a film, no doubt. Bulldog Fuller is a strong, memorable character. Was he based on anyone you knew or anybody you've imagined? Tell us a little bit about that.
I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years,
Hmm.
and that character was based on a real character in the Marines, and I used him as a model to build a character, uh, and so it was pretty pretty much close to his character.
Hmm.
He was a very dedicated man,
Yeah.
and as a matter of fact, when he after he retired, when the war, can't remember which war, but he wanted to go back in to fight,
Right.
but he was old, pretty old at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But he was that kind of guy.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool. Appreciate the backstory on that. The threat of nuclear disaster is terrifyingly relevant. What message do you hope readers take away from Omega Alpha?
Well, the message in terms of that book, especially, was that we need to maintain good relations across the globe to avoid any kind of catastrophe
Hmm.
as a nuclear war. And, it's not a matter of tit for tat. It's a matter of maintaining good relations and keeping a lid on any wars, particularly a nuclear war.
Yeah,
And part of the issue is that there are countries that are building nuclear uh, munitions, and we don't want anybody to pull the trigger
exactly.
from U.S. or anybody else.
Exactly. US, Iran, Russia, whoever the
Right,
culprits might be, we want to keep this world safe from nuclear war. It has to be a top priority because anything else would be devastating.
exactly.
What's next? Are you thinking about writing anything else? What are you working on now, Lou?
Well, at the moment, I've been working on religious things,
Hmm.
and I've been writing articles for the bulletin down at a local church, and and the pastor is a good writer,
Hmm.
and he writes articles. So we're thinking about merging the two and coming out with a book, a series of articles
Wonderful.
that we've written, and there are messages in those articles based on Christianity, and that's the project that I'm working on now.
Excellent. Well, we're
With
looking forward to that book. It'd be wonderful addition to this very, very diverse body of work you've created so far. We've been focusing on two of Lou's books today, Chevy at the Levee and Omega Alpha. One is a heartfelt memoir of love, loss, and resilience. The other, a gripping geopolitical thriller set on the brink of nuclear catastrophe. Lou, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
and thank you for the
Great having you
opportunity.
on the show, sir. I appreciate your wisdom and your insight. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time, until next time on Spotlight.